Operation Phumelela is the short name for the South African Financial Sector Competitiveness Task Force. It was established late last year to identify and address structural barriers that constrain the sector's ability to ensure freer financial flows to the rest of the continent and the rest of the world, among other issues. One of the areas discussed in this regard was the raising of hard currency for South African businesses to invest in the rest of Africa or elsewhere in the world. Given that South Africa currently doesn't allow for private business to raise capital other than rands, which results in punitive costs when having to translate rand into other currencies.
It's always going to be the case that South African companies are going to need South African rands to finance their activities inside South Africa. But to make them more competitive in the rest of the world, it would certainly help them if they could raise hard currencies more easily right here at home for their investments that they're going to make in the rest of the world.
When it comes to the cost of capital for SMMEs, Theobald also mentioned that there were challenges in so-called private markets as well as the publicly listed space.
At the moment, both of those avenues have various frictional costs. If you're in the private capital markets, one of the challenges is that we don't have a very good environment for private equity funds to operate from. So at the moment, lots of funds who want to operate, particularly across the African region, go and domicile themselves in Mauritius and other locations which have much more conducive regulatory processes that make it much cheaper to operate from those markets.
Theobald suggested that a resolution to this issue would result in more fund managers operating in the country, which could serve as an additional source of capital for private companies in the country. Meanwhile, Nedbank chairman Daniel Manele, who's a member of the South African Financial Sector Competitive Task Force, said that it was important for some of the considerations to be translated into policy and finally implementation.
A year from now, I would hope that we will see some of these proposals, for example, being announced in the national budget as some of the initiatives that were going to be implemented to get us to move forward. So those are the kind of signals that I suppose one should look out for so that we don't end up just being involved in producing plans, however good they are, but that don't find a way to actually getting implemented.
Financial regulators were among the attendees at the deliberations on pushing the frontiers of the financial sector and saw great value in the interactions.
As the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, we are the regulator for pension funds, we're the regulator for securities, so for capital markets, and we also have a consumer protection mandate. So it's our role here today has been to listen to and to respond to some of the suggestions that have been made. And I think going forward, a lot of the inputs that come out of this will probably find their way into the policy environment.
Deputy Finance Minister Dr. David Masondo gave the keynote address at the gathering, supportive of the idea of greater mobilization of financial resources to help spur greater investment, economic growth, and in turn improve the country's social development indicators like unemployment. In the process, saying that South Africa's financial sector was a national asset that needed to become a key driver for inclusive development, regional leadership, and global relevance. Phumelela Lekgotla, SABC News, Johannesburg.